Hello, welcome back to another video for the sound of the signs. Today we're going to be talking about Leo, the sound of Leo, and your celebrity status, and like really stepping in to your celebrity status. So, I'm going to say this. I've put off this video for a little while, and over the last few days, as I've been like really thinking about why it is that I have put off Leo when I love this Leo energy so much, and I realized that it's because my moon is in Leo. So not only am I sharing information with you about Leo today, I am also sharing my heart. And as we all know, like sharing your heart is a big deal, and it's a vulnerable thing, but as I really like to say, vulnerability is power, and us being in our vulnerability is us being in our power. So I'm sharing my heart today with you, and as well as sharing the sounds of Leo with you. There are so many fantastic things about the Leo sign, and today I'm just going over a smidgen of them. And so I want you to know that while I'm covering a little bit in all of the videos I share about the sounds of the sign, I'm covering a little bit of information, but there is so much more incredible things. So if you're interested, I am teaching a course on this live starting November 4th, and I'm very excited to do that. I'll put more information for that in the link in the description. Okay, so the thing that I want to talk the most about with Leo today is our celebrity status. So I have heard before that Leo is like the king of the zodiac or the queen of the zodiac. So this is where in our chart we are finding our celebrity status. Now, I say that, and one of the clarifications that I want to give there is that that doesn't mean that we are necessarily going to be like Taylor Swift or Oprah Winfrey or James Bond. Like that's not like the celebrity status that I mean. And let me share this example with you to help illustrate exactly what I mean by this. So, I know a woman, and her son is in Leo, and it's actually in the ninth house. So the house of education, the house of learning, the house of teaching, right? So her sun sign is there. So where and that's where her Leo is, right? So that's celebrity status at school. So when she was in junior high and high school, she really like had like people saw her as this queen energy. So she was not homecoming queen. She was not the most popular kid in school, but what she was an influencer. And what she was a leader in her classrooms. So for example, there in one of her classes in middle school, there was a boy who most of the class did not like, and for an understandable reason. Like he was causing some problems in the class. She kind of like took him under her wing and started supporting him in that class. And as she did that, and as she treated him with respect, the class started treating him with respect. And I think it was like this kind of like this cycle. So she started treating him with respect. So then he started acting a little bit better. Then the class saw how she was treating him. And so they started treating him with more respect. And then he started interacting with the class in a different way. And it just kind of like it increased, what I'm going to say is it increased his status in the classroom. And she did all of this without having to be the popular kid in school. And this happened regularly throughout her like educational career. I'm going to say like her career in junior high and high school. Like kids would just look to her, and they would notice her and see the things that she was doing and follow suit. And she very much was like very much a leader in these kinds of groups without having to have that celebrity status. So for those of you that are like, I don't want to be the center of attention. I don't want to bring attention to myself. You don't have to. You can still be a leader in your way, which is the most beautiful thing about taking this information and really translating it into your chart and translating it for what it's saying for you specifically. So let me pull up a chart and let's dive in a little bit more. Okay, one of the things that I want to share also about this Leo energy and about this leadership like queen energy that is so strong um in Leo, the leadership that's so strong in Leo is this. Like I'm going to say this word and I know that it can be a little bit triggering. So hang on just for a second as I say this word. Um, Obedient. So Leo is obedient, but Leo is not obedient to anybody but self. And I don't mean that in a rebellious sort of way, because we've got like Aquarius can be a little bit rebellious, right? I mean that as in like you think about a queen, like especially in the olden times, this queen status or the queen or the king of the kingdom, and they really didn't answer. I mean, they answered to the people, right? But they were the ultimate decider. There was no one else for them to be obedient to, right? Their subjects were obedient to them. And so, really, where Leo is in our chart is also where our soul is asking us to stand up and be obedient to ourselves. And and again, not in a rebellious way, but in like a true alignment kind of way. So I want to know, like, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about being obedient to yourself and really what is the best for you? Because when we step into this place of true obedience to oneself, then it really is what's best for the people around us as well. So, oh my gosh, there's just so many really good things. So again, I'm gonna say I can only share a portion because otherwise this video would be so long. I can only share a portion. But when we talk about like Leo in the first house, then we're saying like I'm willing to take that leadership role with my body. Okay? Leadership role with my body. I'm in charge. I say what's happening. I am listening to my body and being obedient to what it needs, like the support that it needs, the actions that I need to take with it, like the type of exercise, the type of food, like all of these things. And then also being obedient to my character, like who I am, right? And as we do that, for those that have that Leo rising, as we do that, it creates a place where I'm going to say it like this because this is what I'm hearing, especially from Leo in the first house. It creates a space where we feel more comfortable being seen. And we feel like more comfortable being seen even just on the one-on-one, because that isn't necessarily the case. Just because we have Leo in that area of our chart and that is where our celebrity status is, does not mean that it's always comfortable for us to experience that celebrity status. So I want you to see that too and like really understand that. So as you're obedient to your character, as you're obedient to your body, then it makes it a lot easier for you to be to feel comfortable being seen in person instead of stepping into like the shadow of the Leo sign, which is like I have to take up all the oxygen in the room. I have to take up all the air in the room. Like I have to be center stage, um, because that can be kind of like the shadow of Leo, right? Or like I have to push myself onto other people. So that is what we don't want. So really being obedient to self, being obedient to your body, and like really listening to what it needs. Okay, Leo in the second house. So, and I know I'm like pointing here. So I'm going to stop and share. So we are talking about it cusping Leo, right? So here we have a cusp. Now we have Leos coming in. Oh, we have a Leo here coming into the third house. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking specifically about where Leo is what house Leo is cusping in your chart. And to cusp means like to begin. It's the horn of the house, right? So the horn of her house here is Leo in the fourth house. The horn of the fourth house is Leo. Because as she steps into this Leo energy and steps into this leadership and self obedience in this area of her life, it will lead to better precision, which is where this Virgo energy is, right? So leading to better precision. I'm just listening. Okay. So coming back, so I'm pointing to this over here. I kind of wish I had a chart that just said Leo all the way around it, but I also really love using these personal charts that people have just because there's so much good information, and then I can hear like I love hearing people's personal charts too, right? And really helping them step into the expression of themselves, which we're going to Leo in the second house. So Leo in the second house, this is actually where my personal one is. My second house is cusp by Leo. So really what this is inviting us to do, for those of you that also have Leo in the second house, it's inviting you to be obedient to your worth and to your value. I just want to I'm just like, let's let that sink in. Be obedient to your worth and your value. Be a leader in your money. Be a leader with your worth and your value. You have so much of it. And you can really like, okay, I'm gonna own this celebrity status. Like I'm gonna own that I'm a celebrity. I'm not saying this specifically for me, but I'm like, well, I mean, I guess I need to say that for me, right? Because my second house is cursed by Leo. It's also where my moon is sitting. It's also where my north node. So like there's a lot of things like pointing me to accepting my worth and my value, accepting my celebrity status in that worth and value. So if you've got Leo in the second house, cusping the second house, I was gonna say, girl or dude, I totally get you. I get how scary it can be to accept your celebrity status with your worth, to claim your leadership in your worth and your value. And as you do it, though, as you do it, it will then impact the lives of so many people around you, whether you're trying to do it on purpose, just like about that woman that I shared at the beginning. She wasn't purposefully trying to be a leader in anybody else's life. She was just going about doing the thing that she knew she needed to do. Okay. She was being obedient to herself in that setting, in her schooling setting. Okay. Leo cusping the third house. I really love this. I know that so Gemini naturally rules the third house, is a communicator, but Leo is also really expressive. Um, and so I love Leo cusping the third house and the energy that we have from that, and like really stepping into being a leader in our communication. Just, I'm just listening to it for a second. Um, for those that have Leo in the third house, you really can be great communicators. Now, I'm going to say this, and I'm saying this for all of the houses too, right? This doesn't mean it doesn't come without learning, right? So there is learning that needs to be happening in these areas of your life. So you can't just be like, well, I haven't learned anything. And then step out and be the leader. You also, like, especially with communication too, like I'm talking communication here, right? You do need to have good communication skills. And sometimes that takes a little bit of learning, a lot of trial and error, a lot of practice, like all of these things, but also knowing and understanding that inside of you innately, you have this ability to be a leader with and through your communication. You have the ability to change people's lives through your communication. That feels pretty powerful. That feels so incredibly powerful. Okay, let's talk about Leo in the fourth house. So fourth house, you'd be like, that is not a celebrity. The fourth house is totally being about being at home, and is about the home. And I want to say, if you've seen any of my other videos, you know also that the fourth house is being at home with yourself. And so I'm going to say, as I'm listening, especially as I'm listening to this chart specifically, like I am claiming my leadership and my celebrity status with feeling comfortable with myself, feeling at home with myself. And then you can really step into this leadership role at home. Now, that does not mean a domineering leader. Okay, and that's the other thing that I want to point out. Like, that would be more of the shadow side of Leo, is like the domineering leader. We're not talking about that. We're talking about leading from a place where you're shining. So, this fourth house, like really coming into a place where I'm like, okay, I feel super comfortable with myself and I can just show up and be me because I feel comfortable. I really love that. I think that's so beautiful. Okay, the fifth house. So the fifth house is the natal house for, I mean, yeah, like the natal house. I'm just gonna say it's like the natal house for Leo. It's like where Leo originally resides. It's that creativity, shining in our creativity, allowing ourselves to enjoy creations and to see that we are good at creating. So if you have Leo in the fifth house, I just want you to be like, I am so good at creating. I am amazing at my creations, and my creations help lead my life. So you can also create these affirmations for wherever it is in your chart. Like, I'm a leader with my value. I'm a leader in my money. I'm a leader with my body. Like, I am a leader with my character. My communication helps lead those around me, right? I feel at home being a leader. I'm a leader in my home. So these are just some like really great examples of some affirmations for those houses. Okay, the sixth house. Okay, I just love this so much. It's so fun to me. So the sixth house is like uh it's like our chores, right? And it's like the daily activity. Um so when I Leo is such a fun energy. So when I like tap into this sixth house energy for cusping Leo, it's like I just see I'm gonna take the bull by the horns. Like I'm gonna take that chore list by I just keep hearing it like this. So by the balls. Like I am taking control. I am taking control of my tasks. I am taking control of my to-do list. I am not obedient to my to-do list. My to-do list is obedient to me. Which sounds funny. Like, how does that make any sense? But it really like when you step in and you're like, oh, I just heard something, but when you step in and you're not a victim to your to-do list, that's when you step into the leadership role. So you go from being victim to victor. You go from being victim to like mentor teacher, right? You go from like your to-do list saving you to you being a victor with your to-do list and saying like, actually, I didn't actually have to complete all those things on my to-do list. I just did all the right things on my to-do list. And that is fantastic. So that's what I'm talking about is like owning your like celebrity status with your to-do list. Like this is just what I saw, which is so fun and so fantastic. Why did I put Leo off for so long? Leo is such a fun bubbly energy. It's like it's very much like Tigger, right? But I was like, this is the image that I just saw for Leo in the sixth house. It's like let's just pretend that I have Leo in the sixth house. I'm approaching my to-do list. And my to-do list is either like a bunch of journalists or it's a bunch of people in my audience that want my signature. But guess what? Like, not all the journalist questions get to be asked. Not every single person gets their autographs, like gets their whatever signed, right? Not everybody gets my autograph. It's only the people that I choose. So it's like I'm gonna come into my to-do list and be like, that's what needs to be done. That's what needs. This one gets to ask their question. That one gets to ask their question. Like I decide, right? Which is so, so beautiful. Okay. Um, let's talk about celebrity status in the seventh house. And we're halfway there. Celebrity in the seventh house is like really allowing ourselves to take this leadership role in our intimate relationships. So, seventh house is not just a relationship with our spouse or our significant other. We are talking about intimate relationships with friends. We are talking about the intimate relationship with ourselves. And so, to me, here it's saying, I'm going to allow myself, and when I say leader, I don't mean that I'm in charge of everything that happens, right? When I'm talking leader here in this area and these intimate relationships, I'm really talking about like this. Well, the thing that comes to me is like what a true leader is. A true leader is someone who's willing to listen. A true leader is someone who is willing to um, stand up and say something. So they do have both of those parts. Like a good leader follows just as much as they lead, but they also really know when it's time for them to take the lead. And so that's where I'm suggesting, like in your intimate relationships, I am letting myself shine. I'm letting myself shine in that intimate relationship with myself, with my friends, and with other people. The eighth house. So leadership within, so there's your affirmation. I allow myself to shine in my intimate relationships, right? And then we've got Leo in the eighth house. So Leo in the eighth house, when we're looking at it specifically through the lens of this celebrity status and this leadership status, it's like, this is the thing I keep hearing. So I'm just going to say it because this is what I keep hearing through the whole video. I say who, I say when, I say who from Pretty Woman. I freaking love that line. And the reason why I love that line so much is because she was coming in that scene saying, I decide. I make the choices. I'm stepping up. Like nobody can tell me. And that's very much this obedient, Leo energy, like I am obedient to myself. So coming in here, looking at it through the house of transformation, which to me the eighth house is so much is transformation. Like yes, it's the house of death and rebirth. And what is death and rebirth? That's transformation. It's the house of other people's assets coming to us. And what is that? That is also a transformation, like transforming from their plate, like their assets to my assets, right? And so really as we're stepping in, for those that have Leo in the eighth house, you're stepping into being a leader in your transformation instead of letting other people dictate what needs to be transformed in your life. You're stating, I'm going to transform in this way. I'm going to let myself shine in transformation and be a leader of it. Be a leader of transformation. Like that sounds really fantastic. Okay, let's look at the other chart I have here. Okay. So this is the other chart that I have, and I want to kind of like blow it up a little bit. So we talked about the other woman at the beginning of the video, how she had her ninth house was Cusping Leo and how she was a leader in her school setting, right? So that is one way that we can look at it. The other way that we can look at it is like, okay, I'm going to say this because this is what I'm hearing specifically in this chart. So the ninth house is a few different things. It's adventure, it's learning, it's teaching, it's religion. So for this woman specifically, I'm going to say this, and I know her. Um, she is a leader in religion, and I'm going to say a leader in spirituality. So as she takes that leadership role wherever she goes, and and claims that status, it will then, it will then help her be a leader in all of the other areas of her life, like I was talking about in the beginning. So like, okay, I'm a leader in my religion. I'm a leader at my church, which is actually, in fact, truly the case right now, right? I mean, in her life, this actually is what's happening, current time. She is a leader. And stepping in and like, okay, this is what I'm hearing specifically for her chart. Um, is like stepping into her celebrity status as being a leader in what she's teaching, and especially in the spiritual realm, and especially in like and I know the spiritual realm, we've got like over here is the 12th house to me, right? My third eye is buzzing. It's so fantastic. Um, but over here, so is okay, so let me explain how I see the difference between the two houses. So here we have religion, and what happens in religion is we learn about spirituality. Here in the 12th house, this is our personal relationship with spirituality. So like teaching the spirituality, right? And like really the connection with the spirit. So her stepping into this leadership with not just teaching, but especially teaching the connection to the spirit. So that's what I'm hearing for her and that leadership place. Hopefully that made sense to everybody, because it really is beautiful. And I use this example specifically because I want to illustrate that while we have general like while there's generalness in the houses, while there's generalness in the signs, um, listening to specific charts and listening to your chart specifically will help give you more detailed information about what it means for you. And so this is her like more detailed information. Okay, now as I was thinking about this, and we're talking about the 10th house, as I was thinking about this, this is beautiful. And it's so perfect because we've got Leo in the 10th house. The 10th house is the house of the public. It is the house of like um our mission and our job and like all those things. And it's a reminder that when we're like, this is what I'm hearing specifically for the 10th house. It's a reminder that when we have Leo in the 10th house, that we are not stepping into a place of being obedient to the masses. We are stepping into a place of being obedient to us. Now, like that is us in the light, right? So it's not like, oh, well, I have to have all the attention all the time, or I should get all the money, or I like me, right? This isn't like a king overtaxing its people, because that's not truly in alignment with that person, right? That's not the light of alignment. But it's also not being a victim to, I'm going to say it like this, your subjects, right? Or your audience or anything else, but like really stepping into that leadership role, which means I'm obedient to myself. I listen to myself, and I also have a space where I listen to others and I let others step into that leadership role. Because to me, that's what a truly good leader is. Okay, 11th house. Here we have hopes and dreams. Here we have friendship. Here we have like, so we have intimate friends over here in the 7th house. Here we have like general friends, like more general friends. Um, And oh, like just one of the things that I hear in this place too is like I select friends and I'm around my friends or the friends that I surround myself with are friends that encourage me to be a leader and see me as a leader and support me in being a leader, right? So I love that. So that could be your affirmation, right? And like I'm a leader in my hopes and my dreams. I have fun with my hopes and my dreams. I'm expressive with my hopes and my dreams. So those are some things that we can experience in the 11th house. So now we have the 12th house, our final house. And I laugh, I giggle because it's just it's so much fun because the first thing that I heard is I'm a celebrity with God. I'm a celebrity with the universe. And what I say to that is, heck yeah, you are. Like, and you need that. You need that. And you need to feel comfortable and confident saying, I am a celebrity with the universe. I am a celebrity with God. Because when we do that and we claim that, and I'm saying especially when you claim that as a 12th house Leo, it helps you. Um, I'm going to say it like this because this is kind of how I'm hearing it. It helps you integrate your value and your worth. It helps you understand who you are and stand and be a leader in and of your life and of your like entire life. And I know I've kind of like touched on that, but as we really practice being a leader or being a celebrity in that area of our life, and I it will help us then be a leader of our entire life, right? And I don't mean to say like this isn't to say that wherever Leo is, this is necessarily the thing that you're known for, or this is like the specific gift that like that you're offering to the world, or this is your mission, but just like stepping into that leadership role, stepping into your leadership role within yourself, stepping into your light, um, and really, really claiming that for your whole life. So stepping into that area where you are a Leo, where you are a leader of, where you are that celebrity of, will then help you step into the leadership for you for your entire life. Okay, what a fun video today. I have loved every second of it. I hope that you have too. If you have, please like and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.